Greetings, thank you for joining me today. Hope wherever you are, life is treating you well. This is a little rant about, pet food and the cost of living. Okay, so in these increasingly troubled times, we see a rising cost of everything. And the supermarkets, in fairness, are slapping on the extra costs and making more and more profit every year, above and beyond what they need to do. But that aside, this is more a rant at the pet food industry, okay? Now, I would like to see a couple of changes. Now, if you have a pet, you hopefully have it from cradle to grave, for want of a better term. You have it for the whole life. A pet is for life, not just for Christmas or whatever. So when an animal is young, they'll have different needs. They'll need smaller chunks, for example, and as they get older and have less teeth, like us all, they need a different sort of food, maybe something that's more of a paste. Now, to that end, there's not much on the market for the older cats. Yes, there are some very expensive brands where they have a kind of patty, but we can't all afford that, which is why I like to see a return of what used to be a staple of a supermarket that's long gone. Super meat. It used to be sold by the Netto supermarket group. Netto got bought up by Asda and shut down because Asda viewed them as competition, and they were. But this super meat was a cheap meat. It was a mystery meat. Who knows what it was made of? Was it chicken? Was it beef? Was it all this? Who knows? But the meat came as a sort of solid paste and that's all it was. It wasn't jelly, it wasn't gravy, it was a paste. And you could just spoon it out and the cat would work their way through this patty. And if a cat has less teeth, they don't struggle with it. They didn't struggle with it. It was wonderful. I used to have quite a lot of elderly cats, over 12, 13, right up to 18 years old. And the older cats couldn't handle the chunky meats. They liked it. They liked to, but they would be swallowing it wholesale and then vomit it straight back up. You couldn't give them crunches by the same token because they couldn't crunch anything. So the super meat was great. Now, of course, all we've got is the chunky meat and you have to spend ages smushing it up with a fork. Yes, I know it's a first world problem, but could we have some super meat? If you work in the pet food industry, can you put that forward? Put it in the suggestion box, please. Super meat. Yeah, every brand should do it. Super meat, beef, chicken, lizard, whatever it happens to be. Okay? Next thing on my rant list is the move from things being in tins to just packets, just blessed sachets. These sachets are bad for the environment. A tin is recyclable, infinitely so. An aluminium pouch, that we also have, they're also recyclable, but these plastic pouches are not. They're not. They're mixed media, and our local recycling won't touch them. If you put this in the recycling guys will not take your bin, and they'll leave it for you to take to the tip yourself. So you have to hide things like this because the foods get stuck to them. And that's one of the problems here in Wolverhampton. Our local recycling isn't good for much at all. They want clean, they don't take pizza boxes, they don't take cat food pouches, none of that. You cannot put that in. It has to go in the main bin to be incinerated. So bad for the environment. Recyclable, bad for the environment. Yes, it comes in a cardboard box when you have a bunch of these, and that is compostable and recyclable, sure. And yes, they say the recyclable plastic in some places, but it isn't universal. So these need to be reworked. I really get frustrated with these because if you say, this one's supposed to have 80 grams, some of them have 75, some of them have less in, you won't get that 80 grams on the plate. A good 10 grams of that will invariably stay stuck to the packet and there's no way to get it out unless you're good with some sort of spatula and you want to open it up and you get gravy all over your hands and everyone's having a bad time. That needs to stop. Maybe we should have a kind of semi-dry cat food, that comes in a bar maybe. Something like the old, and wrap them up like the old Mars bars used to be, in a wax paper. You just unfold it. Use the wax paper, stick that in the recycling. You could just have something, you just rehydrate with a little bit of water, stick it in the bowl, it's good to go. Something that stays useful. Less of this. Anyway, rant over. What did we do? Have a great day. See you soon. Bye for now.